Hello there people, let's have a quick look at Hcmc. Today, Hcmc, well, it hasn't really done anything at all. We've seen our consistent barcoding now happen for a few days. Ultimately, the share price is still staying in this range that we are seeing of about the 0.0012 level. So again, things not really moving too much for the past 5 days recently. Again, if we're looking at this point here on the 30th of March up until now, we can see the share price, whilst it is up by about 4%, it's not really done anything at all. Of course, it is pretty flat. And again, people are saying this could be good, people are saying this could be bad. We've all seen that news article saying that the stock could potentially be consolidating and be ready to pop up. I've spoken about this before, I'm going to speak about it more in this episode. I think that what we are seeing at the moment isn't necessarily bad, but again, all will be explained in this video. So we're going to have a quick look at the latest around the lawsuit. I did briefly touch on this in the last episode. I just want to give a quick, update on what is going on. I'm sure you do already know if you've watched that video, but again, I just want to kind of reiterate some things that we've not gone over as much before, and of course, a bit more of you guys' Q&As that we have heard in the comment section from many a video in the past. So all will be revealed. Make sure to smash that like button if you haven't already. Again, smash that subscribe button too if you haven't done that. But do remember, this video is not financial advice, it's only just my opinion, and again, especially when discussing the lawsuit, I am not a lawyer, of course. I'm just a guy in my bedroom making YouTube videos on the internet, and I know that people, are going to criticize me for saying that, but that is just a fact of the matter. So yes, please make sure to do your own research and all that kind of stuff, and if you do want to come join us on Discord, we have a free Discord, link is down in the description. But let's start off initially by looking at how the share price has been moving. Well, I think this is going to be the most boring part of the video. We don't really have too much to talk about in this section. The share price hasn't really been doing much for the past 5 days. Now we are popping back down to the 0.0011 range, and again we have seen this basically barcode for the past week, which isn't the best, but again at least it isn't in the red, which is good as well. If we're looking over to the volume that we can see for today, we are looking at volume so far of about 1.79 billion. Now this is a high number, don't get me wrong, but of course with the amount of shares that we do have traded at the moment, it's not really too much at all. So again, volume is still high, which is good. It indicates that there is still quite a lot of interest around the stock, and a lot of people apparently are still trying to buy. Personally, I bought an extra 570,000 shares today. That order is still pending on Trading 212. A lot of people have been asking me again in the comment section, if you have an order on Trading 212, is it still pending? Well, yes, I ordered an extra 570,000 shares today, and it is still pending. I ordered that at about 1 o'clock, and so far it is now about 7 o'clock. So again, about 6 hours that has been pending, so there you go. If you don't already know, I do own about 1 million shares of Hcmc. As I have just mentioned, I bought an extra 570,000. So by the end of hopefully tomorrow, if this one does go through, I'll be owning about 1.6 million. So there we go, quite a large number. I thought I would disclose that before we go any further. But yeah, we aren't seeing too much in action. One good sign in my opinion is that today's candlestick is in the green, which is good, but again, it hasn't really done anything. And when we talk about the actual price action that we are seeing initially, I think this is what we are going to be expecting for the next few weeks and months. Ultimately, when we look over to Pacer Monitor, we do have that date of the 16th of April, and we do also have that information that basically this motion to stay is happening for the next 30 days. We'll talk about what all this means in just a moment, but I think this is a bit of a reminder for people, or at least it should be, that the share price isn't necessarily guaranteed to do too much in the next few weeks. As we already know, Hcmc is going through a legal battle, or at least it could potentially be going through one. And if that is the case, these things aren't necessarily guaranteed to happen very quickly. Again, this one definitely could get settled, and because I do own shares, I do hope it gets settled, and I hope it happens as soon as possible. But we do need to be prepared for the eventuality that it doesn't get settled. Of course, if it doesn't, this could pan out over many months, if not years. We've spoken about this before, but legal proceedings can take up to 1, if not 3 years, so you guys probably should be prepared to hold for a long time if you are looking to buy Hcmc. And this is a point that I have made many times in the past. I think that not everybody is in a fantastic position to buy Hcmc. Ultimately, if you follow the formula which I have mentioned before, I think you'll be doing okay. And that formula was, don't put too much money into it. Understand that it is a risky stock and it's not guaranteed to explode. And of course, even if you are doing all of those things, make sure you are willing to hold for a few months, if not a few years. Because again, this legal proceeding could take a long time. But if you're willing to do all that, you could be in a good position. So yeah, let's have a quick look at what we have been seeing. So we're going to hop over now to Pacer Monitor. We're going to have a quick read of what is being said down here. We can see back on the 1st of April, we are seeing a motion to stay, which is going to last for 30 days from that date. So again, this is going to take us to about the start of March, and we can see this is a relatively long time, but it is just, kind of a bit of a hint of what is coming long term. So if the lawsuit does actually go ahead, we could be seeing something pan out over many years. Now again, the 30-day motion could kind of state that they are trying to settle something. We've spoken about this before and the benefits this could have for both parties. And the settlement could bring good things. We've spoken about this, like I have said before, and I'm going to quickly mention it again. If they were to settle it, it would have benefits for both sides. Of course, it is bad PR for Philip Morris to have this lawsuit going on. On top of that, there is the cost factor for both sides. Of course, legal proceedings are very expensive. Perhaps if they were just to settle it now, it would save both sides money. And if Philip Morris knows that they're going to lose, it would probably make more sense for them to settle it probably as soon as possible. We already know that a trial could not be, something for Philip Morris to want to proceed with, as it wouldn't necessarily be beneficial for them unless they are certain that they could prove that they have something which Hcmc, do not have a patent on. So again, if we are looking at that, that could be an easy settlement coming in the next few weeks, months and years. But that is not guaranteed, and I do need to reiterate that. People are acting like the settlement is already in the bag, and again, we already know about the lawsuit. We've spoken about this before. I personally do think that this one could go in Hcmc's favour, and again, I would love to see that happen. But if Philip Morris do think that they have a strong enough case, who knows, they could be willing to go ahead with the legal proceedings on this one anyway. What we do know so far is that the legal definition of stay is the act of temporarily stopping judicial proceeding through the order of the court. So this is basically a suspension of the case for now, or a suspension of a particular proceeding with the case. So like I have mentioned, this is a good thing. Possibly we could see something coming in the next 30 days. To sum things up, it basically means that both sides have just said, hold on a minute, let's stop things for 30 days. And that could definitely insist that the companies are working on something behind the scenes. So ultimately what I'm trying to say in this video is that we are looking at good things coming for Hcmc potentially. I would be looking to hold this one for the next few years to see the full benefit of this one. If they are to win the lawsuit, that would be fantastic. We've already had that message from Jeff Holman, which is the CEO of the company. He's talked about the fact that he keeps the company's investors' feelings in mind, and who knows, if they are to win the lawsuit, this definitely could point to a share buyback. We've spoken about this before as well. If they were to buy back shares, it wouldn't really cost them that much if they were to win a few billion. As we already know, this product has basically generated over 3 billion, if not more, in revenue for Philip Morris. So it's definitely possible that they could get a few billion on a payout if they were to win this lawsuit. So again, with Jeff taking these people's feelings into consideration, would he be willing to buy back shares? Well, we just don't know yet. What we do know is that a lot is now going on with Hcmc. The next 30 days are going to be very, very interesting. I'm definitely still holding my shares, and I am looking to buy up to 2 million because, as I have mentioned, I own about 1.5 million so far, 1.6 million. So hopefully I can add another 500k in time. And again, this is a risky stock, so don't put in more than you are willing to lose, and be aware of the risks. Do your own research, but I just thought I'd bring you some more information on the lawsuit. So very interesting things to come in the next 30 days. We are still waiting to see what happens towards the end of month. Will this month be green for Hcmc? Honestly, I think it definitely could be, especially if we do get something sorted out. If we do get something sorted out, that news alone could send the share price flying. I think what we need to remember is that in the past, when we saw this high up here of 0.006, even up to 0.007, we saw all this hype without any actual lawsuit news. And I think this is what people do need to remember. So we had the initial spike in hype, which brought a lot of publicity for the stock. Now we are seeing a sell-off, and people are saying that the stock is dead. I would definitely agree with this to an extent. I don't think that the stock is dead, I just don't think that the stock is awake yet. I think when we do have that initial news, if it's good as well, it could start us off flying and send us into some very, very, very good territory. So again, I'm looking to hold this one for the long term. I hope it does pay off, but it is a risky investment, and that is the bottom line. Tell me your thoughts down below. Make sure to do your research if you are looking to buy. That was my opinions. I will see you again as soon as possible for another Hcmc update. See you then. Goodbye.